All right, guys, Mr. Jenkins back again with your second to last lesson in Chapter 2. This is Lesson 2.7 called Solving Proportions, which we already have a head start on because that's what we've been doing on the DMR. So that's a good thing. So your learning target is that we can, after this lesson, we'll be able to solve and apply proportions, which again, like I said, in theory, you can always do, you can already do at least some of this because it's been on our DMR, and that's even tougher on the DMR because we don't use calculator there. Here goes. It says proportion, an equation where ratios, or you could use the word fractions there, are equal. Equal fractions are proportional. Equivalent fractions have equal, hopefully you're filling in the words along with me, cross products. You were thinking it. All right, so here goes. I'll do a couple of these and then let you do the rest because, like I said, we've already done this stuff. So A times 8 is 8A. That's my cross product there. And we set that equal to the cross product on the other side, which is 7 times 12. Okay, we'll just let our calculator do the work for us. 7 times 12 is 84. So that's equal to 84. And then, of course, we just divide both sides by 8 there. So if I hit divided by 8, I get 10.5. So that would give me 1A, or A equals 10.5. Okay, if MathXL wants a fraction there, you can always use your calculator to convert that to a fraction. If you don't know how to do that and would like to, just let me know. All right, so, lastly, I would just say always on these do the does my answer make sense test. So does it look like 7 out of 8 could be equal to 10.5 out of 12? And then even, when you have your calculator, you can always double check by converting the fractions to decimals. So like 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. Let's see, 10.5 divided by 12. Is that the same thing? We hope it is. And there we see it is. Okay, that's a good way to check your work there. I think I might just skip the rest of those because we've done so many on the DMR. However, they are all filled out on your notes. Okay, so I guess I solved those a different way than I was supposed to. So I guess if you look at this example that I did, I was supposed to be using the multiplication property. So let me do 1 or 2 that way, and then I'll pretty much skip example 2, which is cross products. Okay. So the multiplication property would be this. Like if we were looking at B, make this just a little bit larger. It says B over 7, or B is to 7, is as 4 is to 5. Okay. So we know that we could set it up as 5B equals 28 and then solve. That's probably your best bet, but just to show you another way, we can also do this, and I've shown you a little bit of this earlier this year. This is a good skill to have anyways. So we want to multiply both sides by the least common denominator. So what is the lowest common denominator for 7 and 5? It would actually be 7 times 5, which is 35. All right, so if I multiply both sides by 35, let's see what happens. Okay, so on this side, I get 35B over 7. And then on the other side, I get, what's 4 times 35? I think that's going to be, I'm doing my head, 140, I think. We'll go with 140. So 140 over 5. Okay, and then we can simplify, and if you multiplied by the right thing, then these should go away, right? So 35 divided by 7 is 5. So this is really equal to 5b equals whatever 140 divided by 5 is. So 28. That might sound familiar to the beginning of the problem when I talked about cross products, right? So this is just another way to get those, I guess, equivalent cross products almost. Okay, then we finish solving by divide both sides by 5. So 28 divided by 5 is 5.6. So let's just say MathXL says that that's wrong, and then you read the directions and it says write your answer as an integer or a fraction. So it's going to look different than this on your calculator, but like on my calculator here, I can go to, I think, math and then fraction and just hit enter, and it'll change it to 28 over 5, which makes sense because we got 5.6 from 28 divided by 5. But it'll reduce it for you if it can. Okay, let's do one more of those that way, and then we'll move on. I'll work a little bit quicker. Let's see what C looks like. About the same. Let's just do D because I have more space. Okay, so LCD for 4 and 5 is 20. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit less work here. I'm going to kind of talk you through it, but here we get 20 times 3 over 4, right? So what's 20 over 4? That's 5. So this is the same as 5 times 3. So you get 15. And you can always type this in too, right? So 20 times 3/4 if you're just not sure. If what I just said didn't make sense, and you get 15. Same thing on the other side, but you would need to type in 1/5 times 20, right? Because your coefficient is 1. So 1/5 times 20 is 4. So on the other side, we get 4D. All right, and then we just want to solve by dividing both sides by 4. So my answer is going to be 15 divided by 4. So 3.75. Or you might say, 15 over 4. Or, 3 3/4. Okay. So example 2, I'm pretty much just going to skip over because we've done so much on it on the DMR. But basically, just to review, you multiply across, okay, cross products. So 8 times 3 would be 24. 4 times A would be 4A, and so your answer would be 24 divided by 4 there. But that's all done on your notes for you. You want to see those. All right, these will be the ones you'll struggle with if you do, okay? And I would just say that you need to, cross products would work every time, okay? But you could do this. You could do this one, and this one by using a shortcut, by using that multiplication method. I'm going to show it cross products because I think more of you will use that, but I will show one with the shortcut that I like. Okay. All right, so here we take the quantity A plus 3 times 5. So that would be 5 times parentheses A plus 3. And then on the other side, you have 4 times parentheses A minus 8. Those parentheses are important, okay? You can't just take 5 times A and then put plus 3. You did it wrong. Okay, so be careful. So now we need to simplify both sides. In this case, that means distribute. So 5 times A is 5A. 5 times plus 3 is plus 15. 4 times A is 4A. And 4 times minus 8 is minus 32. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and move this 4A over. Minus 4A to both sides is going to give me 5A minus 4A is 1A. And then 4A minus 4A would be 0. 0 minus 32 is negative 32. And then we want to move the plus 15 over there. So that's minus 15 to both sides. On the left side, that gives me a plus 0. So just a. And on the right side, it gives me, you'd want to be careful on this, negative 32. Take away 15 because it's minus 15 on the other side. And so negative 47. Just like any other equation ever, you can sub that back in to see if it works, right? So it takes a little bit more work, but on this side, negative 47 minus 8 is my numerator. So that'd be negative 55 over 5. So if I divide by 5, I get negative 11. Let's see what we get over here. Okay, so negative 47 plus 3 is negative 44, and then it's over 4, right? So divided by 4 is also negative 11. So you can see that it really does make that a true equation, okay? All right, looking at B. So again, you could use cross products here. But I'm going to use my shortcut on this one. Actually, let me see what the other one looks like first. Let me use my shortcut on C. I'll do cross products again on this one. All right, so 5 times the quantity 2b plus 4. That's one of my cross products. Set that equal to the other side, which is b times 6, which we usually write as 6b, not b6. All right, so want to distribute on the left side. That's going to give me 5 times 2b is 10b. 5 times plus 4 is plus 20. All right, now typically I would move 6b because 6 is smaller than 10, but in this case, all of my constants are over on the left side, so it would really only make sense to move 10b over there. So minus 10b to both sides is going to give me 20 equals 6 minus 10 is negative 4, so negative 4b. And then 20 divided by negative 4 is going to be negative 5. Okay, you can always sub that in and check. All right, then the last one. So cross products would work just fine. So if you like that, just stick with it. But if not, you can always, if you have just numbers in the denominators, you can always use that multiplication property, right? So you can multiply both sides by the LCD. So what is the LCD for 7 and 35? If you use 7 times 35, you're going to be using a way too big number, right? Because 7 goes into 35. So actually the LCD in this case is 35. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 35. And then on the right side, it's easy. That just cancels out my denominator. So it leaves me with c plus 4. On the left side, right, I got to do some work. So 35 times 3/7. Or you could think about it this way. That's 35 times 3 divided by 7 is 15. So you get 15 is equal to c plus 4. All right, and then all we need to do is subtract 4 from both sides, and you get 15 minus 4 is 11 equals c plus 0, so just c. Right, and so that is our correct answer. It's going to take a little bit longer using cross products on that problem, but the nice thing about cross products is they do work every time, okay? So looking at D, this is a case where you would not want to try to use the shortcut that I just showed you, because D minus 2 and 7, it's like, what is their lowest common denominator? You know, your guess is as good as mine on that one. So we want to probably use cross products here. So we'll do that. So 4 times D minus 2 equal to 7 times D minus 1. We'll go ahead and distribute. On the left side, we get 4D minus 8 On the right side, we get 7D minus 7. All right, so I would go ahead and subtract 4D from both sides. That's going to give me 0 minus 8 is negative 8. On the left side, 7D minus 4D is 3D. And then we have the minus 7. Now I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. And then we're ready to go ahead and divide by 3. So negative 1 divided by 3, we'll just leave that as negative 1/3. I'll tell you what, I see now that I did that wrong because it's D plus 1 up there. So sorry about that. Sorry to waste your time. Hopefully you saw it. Maybe just fast forward it. So I'll do that correctly just since I started it. Apologies for taking more time. Let's see if it works out to be a better number here. So then we get 4D minus 8 on this side, and then 7D plus 7 over here. Okay, same first step. So that's going to give me negative 8 equals 3D plus 7. And then minus 7 to both sides is going to give me negative 15 equals 3D. So that's going to give us a little bit nicer number. Negative 15 over 3 is equal to negative 5. So negative 5 equals D. Okay, and then let's just do one of the word problems. This is just like what we're doing on the DMR. So actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to save both of these for you to look up on the notes. I challenge you to try them on your own and then check them, okay? See what you come up with. All right, that'll conclude our lesson. Hopefully it's pretty easy since that's what we're doing on the DMR. As always, let me know if you guys have any questions. After this, we only have one more section to do before we are at the end of the chapter. So even though we just took a quiz, that test will be here before you know it. So stay on top of the game, and thanks for your time and effort. Bye.